All right, guys, we are back. It's season 2, episode, what is it, 18 of the Always Relevant podcast. It's Terrell Cummings with you here with Dane and I. Dave, what's good, man?
Hey, we're back, man. It's good. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
Super Bowl week, who day?
Super Bowl week, who day? Everybody's saying the who days, even Dane saying who day, even though he's a Browns fan, say he'd be a hater. It's all right. He can say who day for a little bit just because he has to cheer for somebody. And as of right now, it's just the Cavs. So football-wise, might as well be a Bengals fan, hop on board just for a little bit, just this one time. I know it's the Browns year, but get on board. It's Bengals here.
Yeah, I truly hate the Rams and everything they stand for, so it's really hard for me to pick a side, but I'm looking forward to a good game. We'll see what happens. We got our preview today.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to talking about that a little bit. But before we do that, we're going to get into our normal segments. So how are you? How are you really? So I'll start with me. Overall, I'm not bad. Got a chance to get out for a little bit this weekend, hang out a little bit. Didn't probably sleep enough like I probably should have, but it's all good. Overall, I'm really doing all right. Nothing bad, crazy, or terrible happened in my life, so I'm cool with it. I'm good with it. It's been pretty chill. I'm excited for the game on Sunday, Bengals Rams. I will be taking Monday off just in case, and looking forward to hanging out and having a good time. So, Dane, how are you? How are you really?
I'm cold, man. It's cold. Whatever happened to global warming, man? I thought that was a real thing. It's cold.
Hey, it's going to warm up on Wednesday and melt the snow that's here.
Okay. Yeah, because they're talking about, mask mandates going away in New York City in 2 weeks and all that stuff. I'm ready to get back out. And then I walk outside and I'm like, nah. I cannot believe I don't live in Florida yet. But, yeah, how am I really, man? I'm good. I'm excited about the Cavs we talked about. A lot of stuff going on. Yeah, it's good, man. Everything's good.
Oh, that's good, man. Happy to hear it. Ready to do it. So we're gonna bring a mix up with Lee. Lee got in a drink for us in honor of the Super Bowl. He's also from the Cincinnati area. He's from Indiana, from the Cincinnati area. So he's a Houday fan at heart. And the drink of the week for Mix Up with Lee is Rum Thru The Jungle. So it's 2 ounces of white rum, 0.5 ounces of Amaro No Nino, and he spelled that out for me so that I would pronounce it correctly. 1 ounce of lemon juice, 0.5 ounces of orange juice, 0.5 ounces of simple syrup, and you're ultimately have a ginger beer topper. Ultimately, you're going to shake all the ingredients, shake it up in a ice-filled container without the ginger beer. You're going to pour over new ice in a cocktail glass, top it with the ginger beer, and you're going to garnish it with 2 orange twists and a mint. Hopefully, he sent me a picture of that as well. So I plan on getting that out there on social media so everybody can see how good this drink looks. So in honor of the Bengals, them going to the Super Bowl, the Rum Thru The Jungle. So I look forward to trying that. I will test that out one way or another at the Super Bowl party we're having on Sunday. So if I can get you guys my review on it, because one way or another, someone's going to make it, whether it's me or someone else. Hopefully someone else, I trust them more than myself. But Dane, there we go. We got that. Now we're into our bonus segment. We're in restaurants of the week. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Oh, man, I got to get this off my chest. I guess I'll just get it out of the way.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
So there's a Wendy's by me. I haven't been to it in months because it is a terrible place. Absolutely terrible. So to make a long story short, they knocked the Wendy's down that was by the mall. Okay. And because they put a Dave & Buster's there. And then they built this Wendy's to replace the one they knocked down right down the road. It went from being a great place to a terrible place. And me and you like some Wendy's, right? I won't even go to this place because it sucks so bad. So I finally was like, I'm in the plaza where it's at. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give Wendy's a shot. I see the line going around the thing. I'm like, man, they usually can't handle 2 cars. I'm going to do it, right? So I get in line, wait forever, which I expected to do. I wasn't in a rush. I knew that place was going to keep me there forever. Right. So what did I want here? I got myself a Baconator, double Baconator, because it's Get Big 2022.
Yes,
all right, get big, large fry. You know what I mean? I got myself a chili and some hot sauce. I was getting some nuggets with some barbecue sauce.
I mean, you got serious with it. Get extra big.
Yeah, get extra big. Yeah, getting serious with it. And you know what? I wanted a Coke with my meal. Like, we don't have any Coke. I was like, all right, you don't have any Coke. I'll take a Dr. Pepper. We don't have any Dr. Pepper. Okay. What do you have? Root beer. You have root beer at Wendy's. All you have is root beer. That's all you got. I mean, I wanted to go crazy, but I'm staying calm, right? I'm like, okay. I was already in the mental state of mind of this place's complete incompetence, right?
Right.
I knew it was coming. So because I'm in the right state of mind, I knew stupid stuff was going to happen. I'm okay, right? So, okay, what sauce would you like with your nuggets? Oh yeah, I want barbecue sauce. Well, we don't have. Oh, actually, we don't have any sauces. What do you mean you don't have sauces for nuggets? You have nuggets, you don't have sauce. You have value meal menu drinks, you have no drinks. You have root beer and no sauce. So, in honor of this place being the absolute worst Wendy's in the history of mankind, I'm going to call it out with its address. 2545 Mickley Avenue, Whitehall, Pennsylvania. What is this? Want a free sandwich? Take our survey. I'd love to get a free sandwich if they ever had anything that went on the sandwich and I have to wait forever. So that's 2545 Mickley Avenue, Whitehall, Pennsylvania. The worst Wendy's in the history of mankind. I hope you have a better story for me. Do you have anything good to tell us at least?
I do. Lane and I this past weekend on Saturday went to a restaurant called Kona Grill. Had a slightly better experience what you had as far as that.
Good.
It's in Liberty Center. It's kind of like, I guess it's more of like an Asian flair type place, but it had its menu originally had a little bit of everything. They kind of pared it down a little bit, so you can't quite get everything that you're used to, but still found some solid items on there. I ended up getting, we got the pot stickers for an appetizer, which are great. Definitely recommend those. I think they have chicken within them and everything, so it's good with the soy sauce. And then ultimately, I got a chicken stir fry, and I added shrimp to it. So overall, I thought it was great. Loved it. It wasn't too big, wasn't too small. It was good size. Had rice, broccoli, carrots, peppers, onions in it as well, and like it was marinated very well. And the chicken, you definitely tell the chicken was marinated in it. You can tell the shrimp was kind of thrown in with it, but that's fine. No big deal there as far as doing that. It was definitely solid. It was really good. I definitely ordered again. I feel like I'd probably make it at home if I had the right recipe for it and make it happen. So that's probably something that's going to be going on the menu here at the house sometime in the near future. But it was definitely solid. It was good. Had a couple beverages there. Had Moscow Mule. Had that a little bit, and then had a margarita on the rocks. So they were pretty solid overall. Wasn't mad about it. It was a good place. Wasn't overly expensive. It was a little pricey, but nothing crazy. And we had a good time, so it was good. We just sat at the bar. So usually when we go there, that's what we do, and hung out there, watched the Olympics, and kicked it. So it was good.
Well, good for you. Like, I wanted to talk about a restaurant or two, but I had to call this place out because it just sucks. I've had it. You can't even get ketchup in my neighborhood. What? People get COVID and now you can't get ketchup. It's just amazing.
And maybe it goes back to the supply chain issues we talked about.
It goes back to the incompetence issue. That's what it goes back to. But that's another story.
That's probably true. Whoever is their manager that's in charge of ordering their supplies definitely messed up on that.
Someone save that place. I'm going to hit them up on Twitter. Save this place.
Do it. You got to do it. Wendy's originated in Columbus, Ohio, so they usually do things the right way. So they need to make this happen for sure.
Dave is turning in his grave if he knew how bad this place was. 100%. Remember Dave, the commercials with Dave?
Oh, yeah, Dave Thomas.
Yeah.
I remember
he wouldn't put up with this garbage.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I got to go talk to him on the Ouija board or something. This is out of control. Yeah.
All right, so that's our restaurant recommendations for the week. Well, Dane's not recommending Wendy's, but I will go ahead and recommend Kona Grill. It's in a place called Liberty Center, which is on the north side of Cincinnati, in I guess we'll call it Westchester, Liberty Township area. It's probably about 25, 30 minutes from downtown. I said just north of 275. A great place to go. Great food around there. Great shopping. If you get drinks in one place, you can usually walk around the shopping center and have your drinks as you're going from place to place, and they're good with it as long as you stay within the shopping center area. So pretty cool as far as that. Like I said, I definitely recommend it. It's called Kona Grill, and we'll go from there. So Dane, first segment. Are student loans worth it at four-year universities? What do you have for us, man?
Oh, man. So, we're always trying to figure out topics, you know what I mean, stuff like this. And obviously, this was a huge election topic. This is a huge topic all the time. This is a huge topic with families all over and everybody who's, been driven to poverty by these ridiculous loans. But, we wanted to talk about this a little bit today, right? So, we both want the university, right? We want the private institutions. We want the schools that are extremely expensive these days, way more than when we were there.
Oh, yeah.
So look at some of these crazy numbers. So a private university on average, and our schools cost significantly more than this, is $43,775, right? $43,775 a year. Out of state at a public school is $28,238 for a public school.
Jeez.
And if it's in state, $11,631. So obviously that's not a bad deal. Actually it is, but whatever. Depends on what you go to school for, which we'll get into.
We'll get into that in a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The average room and board is over 10K. Okay. And then the mind-blowing one, which, this was expensive when we were there too.
Right.
Books, average $1,240 a semester or something like that. The average price of books has gone up 812% since 1978.
Jesus.
Is there a shortage of trees or something? How the heck we get to 812%?
I don't know. Someone's banking for sure. But McGraw Hill books, they're definitely getting their share for sure.
Yeah, who would ever thought of, the hardback book discovering the micro world of the amoeba usually costs around $185. Like, what? You know what? I'm about to write a book on something like, I don't know. But anyway, what do you think about those numbers?
I mean, it's crazy. It's not surprising, but it's crazy. Tuition's gone up steadily, constantly for the last at least 20 years. And it's like, all right, everybody before is preaching college is the way, blah, blah, blah. But then you go to college, you get done, you're stuck with student loan debt where it could be anywhere from 50 to 100 grand that you're in student loan debt, depending on depending on what school you're going, depending on what kind of scholarships and grants you can get and all that stuff. And just, that's hard for people to pay, or they get behind on it, or they have to try to pay $500 a month, and they're doing that from their entry level position as far as doing that, and they don't have the money to do it, or they can't keep up with it. At some point in time, once they, have a car, have an apartment payment, have whatever, a cell phone, and other kind of rent, utilities, and all that stuff that goes along with it, they can't keep up with their payments. So then they're defaulting on the loans, and they're going to collections. Then you get a whole other situation where wages are getting garnished and everything like that. Then it goes back to they can't pay the bills and the house is getting foreclosed on, and the cycle starts. So is it worth going to a 4-year university?
Yeah, nowadays, I believe if you try to file bankruptcy, it doesn't clear student loans any longer. They are now exempt from the bankruptcy, man. So, and we're getting a little old here. People taking out way more than $100,000 now. Like, way more.
Oh, yeah, I was definitely lowballing that price.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So here's the crazy thing, right? And this is what people don't understand. Like, yeah, I need $50,000. I need $100,000. I'll just pay it back whenever, right? So say you get $100,000 loan. You know what? As a college educated, as someone going to college, you should be smart enough to realize you're going to pay significantly more than $100 grand unless you got that in your pocket to pay off as soon as you get out. Right. Unless you're getting out performing your first brain surgery right out of school and paying that off, you're going to be paying this over some time. So $100,000 loan over I think 30 years or something like that, you're actually going to pay $139,330 on, and that's $1,161 a month. Now, I don't know about you. I didn't have $1,161 in my pocket a month to pay for student loans when I first got out of college.
No,
crazy.
Not at all. That is crazy, but that's the norm. The cost of living's gone up. Tuition for university's gone up. Salaries really haven't gone up that much. I guess it's gone up a little bit, I suppose, but
nope, they haven't really that
much. So, how's it working? How are people handling this? How are people going to get this taken care of? How can they afford it? Honestly, is it worth it? And if you're going for med school, as going to be a doctor, going through all that, prepare and go to med school, yes, I would say it's definitely worth it because you're gonna have the salary to pay off those loans, and it's going to be worth it.
But not necessarily, right? Because the only people that make those big money in the hospitals is the surgeons. Nurses barely an hourly wage. So say you go to 4 years of school to be a nurse, and you got to do the additional stuff. You know what I mean? You're looking at
Right.
like, and you got all this crazy loan stuff because usually the medical field is more expensive, you know what I mean? Because of the labs and everything. I
Right.
mean, that's just crazy, right? So the rates, interest rates generally for undergraduate average looks like it's 3.73%. Graduate students for like masters and stuff looks like around 5.28%.
Yep.
And then professional students, who are people who must just have unlimited money and nothing to do with their life, get 6.28% on their interest if they're taking out loans. That's crazy, right? Crazy.
Definitely, I can tell you from taking out loans going to grad school, these past 18 months or whatever it took me to get through get my master's or whatever. Like there's a regular loan and there's a grad plus loan. The grad plus loan, you want to try not to take that loan if you can help it, because the interest rate, I feel what it is, but it's significantly higher than the regular grad loan as far as that. And it starts like immediately as far as that. Usually the grad loan isn't going to start till like 6 or 8 months after you graduated or whatever, give you time to find, your job and start paying it back. No, the grad plus loan, the interest hitting now. As soon as it's going, it's there. There's no wasting time, whatever. So they encourage you, if you don't have to take the grad plus loan, don't take it, because the interest is piling on now. So for me, piling on now, trying to pay off that interest ASAP. So
yeah, and you know what? These companies are huge, right? They got all this money. And I love it because it was a big issue during the campaign where people like Bernie Sanders we're gonna wipe off student loans, right? And everybody's like, yeah, going nuts and everything like that. Who really believed that, right? Anybody who was crazy enough to believe that is just out of their mind and probably didn't go to, they didn't learn nothing in their 4 years because they didn't learn how business works, right? Where's the Super Bowl at this year?
Oh yeah, LA.
What's that stadium called?
SoFi.
What's SoFi do? Student loans.
That's right.
It's big business. They run this country. They got money. And I love it. Like, and then it was so funny because Biden, like a week later, like the way he answered the question was like kind of like you didn't really think we were going to waive student loans, did you? So I mean, come on, man.
It's tough. I mean, they are doing it for, if you're in certain occupations, public, public service occupation, whatever.
Yeah, there's stuff
you can't get them loan, you can't get them waived, but you have to have already paid your student loans for like a certain period of time and been like on time with those payments. There's certain stipulations, and once you've done that for a certain, I don't know if it's 5 years, something like that, then they'll go ahead and they'll wipe the rest of it away.
Yeah, but you usually got to qualify. I mean, usually if and I'm all for it. Obviously, if you have a health condition or something that's preventing you from working or something happens to you, right. Certain fields, businesses will pay for your degree and stuff like that, or may even reimburse you like you see in the medical field and stuff like that. But you know what? This goes back to the important thing. If you're going to spend, and you know what? This is rough because when you're 18 years old, you don't know what the hell you're going to do, right?
Right.
I mean, some people do, most people don't.
Most people don't, right?
So, you know what? Somebody might do something stupid, like take ancient studies, like me. So you're going to end up, you got to figure out what you're going to do when you get out, right? There ain't too many people making money off that. Obviously getting the degree is important, right? Because it leads to jobs. The company I work for now, you can't get in unless you got a degree. But, I always say, take something where you're going to make some money and you're actually going to work Monday through Friday day shift, usually is a smart way to look at it. Like, go be a dentist. You're going to go in the actual work in a hospital. You're going to be working terrible hours for the rest of your life, right?
Agreed.
Like most businesses. I tell most people. What'd you say?
No, I agree 100%. If you're going to go to school, like, try to find a major that's going to be like where you're going to be able to utilize that major and be able to start your return on your investment, because a lot of times you take out your student loans, you got to pay those back. And hopefully you pick a degree where you're able to get a job with that degree and start paying back on that investment you've made. So whether it's business or if you're doing something with communications and whatever, and you've taken the right internships, that's the other thing. If you're doing like degrees like in business or communications, one thing I wish you would have done internships, because usually it's all about who you know and where you get into. So if you take your internship for a year or two at a particular company, typically they've invested their money in you to bring you into the program, have you learn their stuff. When you get out of school, they're going to take care of you and get you a job. You know what I mean? So that's something that I would say to any of these young people that are out there, if they're listening to us, which I don't know if you are or not, odds are you're not, but if you are, or your parents listen to us, make sure you do internship programs, because it's going to help you get a better job than the typical Joe College graduating from school, going to apply at whatever position he's going for. So it's going to get you ahead of the game and help you out in the long run.
All I know is these tuition rates are insane, right? So how many people come out making enough money to pay for this stuff? Like, you got $139,000, even if you're making $100,000, you got rent, house payment, whatever.
True.
It's still a big burden on you, even if you come out of school making six figures, let alone someone who comes out of school making 30K.
30 grand. Yeah.
Because most people are gonna have
maybe 40 grand.
Yeah, most people's gonna have to come out and work their way up the food chain, you know what I mean, and figure out what they're gonna do. But I'll tell you what, with these student costs, we should actually get together and come up with a way that some of the school tuition should pay for certain things. Like, it should pay for the Natty Light kegs. You shouldn't have to go work some job. You're paying some of these students paying $60K a year. They should get Natty Light kegs like it's the Homewood Suites in these dorm rooms.
Agreed.
They should get Franzia box wine whenever they want.
Franzia.
Right?
Yes, Franzia.
Yeah, man. I mean, I know the food places, because I go to some of these college now and stuff to talk or whatever. And
stepped up their game.
Yeah, man. It's like gourmet food now, man. Not to hate on my university or anything, but I lived in Smith Hall and it looked like a prison buffet down there in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So
hey, I remember getting recruited to Ashland University, and that was a recruiting pitch. The big thing was, their cafeteria was gourmet, state of the art. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it was legit. It's the best cafeteria I've been in on a college campus, 100%. But now all college campuses are like that. It's a norm on college, and some college kids gonna probably message us like, "You are crazy. The food is not that good at this school." So if that happens, let us know, prove us wrong. But
oh man, these kids are so spoiled now.
It's way better than what it was when we went to school. We're old and gray. So
it is better, but like, we even had a delivery pizza service in our thing where they deliver pizza on your phone, come off your card and stuff like that. So actually, the school I went to was pretty ahead of its time with the food and everything. It was pretty top of the line, but still, I always went to the one that was in the dorm room, right? Because, I was probably out all night and I was in my socks and I'm walking down. I don't want to go eat nowhere else because I don't want to go outside because it's still cold in Ohio in the winter, right?
Well, hey, at least yours was in the dorm. Ours was not. So you had to hike it across campus. Well, for freshman dorm, it was right across the street. But as you got older, a little bit further, it's not a big campus, so it's not like it's that far. But it still gets cold in southern Indiana, so you still got to make that hike.
So you know what I mean? Do you ever get the magazines from the school, that come in and say, "Hey, give us money" and stuff like that? It shows you all the pictures of the fancy restaurants they got in there and everything now. Like, yeah, I will say this, like, the schools have stepped up their game, but they have to, because it's competition, because there's a lot of people with money willing to pay these crazy prices at Harvard and Yale and all this stuff. There's a lot of people, like, their parents can afford it.
Right.
Kids go to school for free and then they come out and do whatever. But like, most people's taking out crazy loans. Like, I can't believe all the young people I work with got these crazy loans, man, like crazy loans. And some of them are making pretty good money, obviously, but still. Right. Like, I couldn't sleep at night if I owed somebody $100,000. Like, man,
that's tough, man. That's tough. And like I said, I was saying, for my parents to be able to help me out when I was in school and everything, I probably would have had less student loans because I stayed the extra semester on the victory lap, and I could have helped and coach football and gotten it paid for, but I didn't. I decided I wanted to just go to school and hang out. So that's where a lot of my student loans came from that the victory lap semester of school I went to. So now I added more on for getting a master's, so that's my own fault. But
let's get into the books too. Like, all these professors are friends and stuff. And they go to all these conferences and stuff. They're like, "Yeah, use my book in your class." They get some money off that. You know what I mean?
They do.
So they'll tell you to buy a book at the start of this year, and you buy the book, and they didn't even open it once, right? So here's my question. I mean, you're gonna pay $1,200, right? $1,240 a semester. I can pay somebody $1,240 to do my work for me before I pay for the books, right? Like, this is crazy.
That's true. I mean? You probably could. Yeah. You probably could. Hey, or you could find someone that had the book somewhere else. That was one thing. As we got older, we got smarter. So we're both in fraternities, and typically you could find someone in the house that had the class for you, that had the book. and then you just pass the book around through the house, and that helped. That helped on those expenses. But
so yeah, exactly. Yeah, pass the book around, stuff like that. Be social, you know what I mean? Go to fraternity parties so you don't have to pay for the beer and do whatever you got to do to get by. So we set $100,000 loan, right?
Yep.
So if you take 43,775 times 4, that's assuming you're going to graduate on time, no summer school, no nothing.
Yep.
And you get your degree, it's 175,100. It's 175,100. So that's what I'm saying. People's taking out loans way larger now.
Oh yeah.
So you get out,
sure.
you all that money.
Definitely lowball on that $100,000 loan. Like it's people are taking way more than that for sure.
If you're making, say 60 grand a year, you know what I mean? You'll be paying that till you're 75 years old, man. You'll be cashing out your 401k to pay off your student loan. It's crazy, right?
It goes with you to the grave. So once you pay it off, you are stuck with it.
Yeah. Heck yeah. So they say you can't take it with you. You're going to take that with you.
Yep.
So they're going to get their money. So, it's just crazy out there with the student loan stuff. So basically what we're telling you, although I know no one's going to listen to us because we didn't listen to anybody either.
Nope.
Before you sign the dotted line, make sure you know what you're getting into and know what you're going to go to school for something where you can make some money. So on the flip side, here's where I don't feel bad for people. Nobody's making you sign for that $175,000 loan. That's your decision, man. Right. Nobody's holding you at gunpoint to sign that. You could go get a job. You could go get an internship. You can join the military, do whatever, right? You don't have to sign the dotted line. So I see all these people out in the street crying they got student loans. Go get a job and pay for it. You sign the dotted line, right? Now, you know what? Everybody might say, so, all right, here we go. What do we always talk about? Supply and demand, right?
Yep.
Why would a school not charge $60K if people are willing to pay $60K? If people are you're telling me right now, if people weren't willing to pay that money and sign on the dotted line and take out all that money and all that loan, the school wouldn't be charging that, or it would be out of business. But people are willing to pay it. So the price will just keep going up. Right?
Oh, yeah. It's not
when
stopping.
You're out there crying, you got student loans and this and that during the Great Resignation, go get a job and make some money, right? I'm not saying I don't sympathize for you. It's horrible. A lot of parents have to co-sign for these things and then they get hit for them, get their parents call and they got to pay for it. It's a terrible situation. But at the end of the day, you got to know what you're getting into. And if you sign the dotted line, you got to pay the price. What do you think?
Unfortunately, that is the case. Try to find grants, try to find scholarships, get out there on the apps like Scholly and everything. Every little bit helps. I wish I would have done more of it. I probably should take more time with it. Even the second time around, get my master's, should have taken my time with it more and got more than what I did. So that's my own fault. I'm gonna have to pay for it, is what it is. But I'm hoping with my job that I have and everything, it's gonna ultimately pay for itself and be good to go. So that's what I'm banking on. So hopefully all those kids that were undergrad that are graduating to get those good jobs out of college, hopefully you're able to make it worthwhile for yourself and start paying them back like you should. And good luck with it, because I know that it's expensive.
You bring up a good point, man. Do your research, find out where there's money. You know what I mean? There's
money
all kinds of loans and stuff out there. Even Natty Light gives scholarships. Natty Light.
I tried to get the Natty Light scholarship. I tried to get it. I put a video out there and said, "Hey, Natty, this is why I need it." I probably should have been more creative with it or whatever, but I didn't do it this time. But I did it the first year and getting the master's. I applied for it, put my thing out there on social media and tried to get it. Hey, if they were to pay for my whole schooling, then well worth it. So
yeah. And there's a lot of jobs out there that your parents could be working. They might give some money for you to go to school. Do your research. Don't just say, I want to go to school, because here's what they do. They don't help you get all that scholarship money unless they want you. Like in our case, if you play football, they're going to tell you, this is what you can do. Yeah, they'll find ways to, make it work. So if you got something going for you, you got somebody doing, helping you out with that stuff. But if you're just going to school, just go to school, and people ain't beating down your door to go there because you got like a 4.4 grade point average and a 36 SAT. If you're just a regular dude trying to go to school, they ain't gonna do nothing but push this in front of you and say, hey, you sign this dotted line, you get this loan, and you get your 4-year degree, And now you can do it from home and sit there and not even get the college experience and still pay all that money. At the end of the day, you still got to pay it, right? Yeah. So we didn't even say this. Think of all the people that actually don't graduate. I can think of people I went to school with that actually went for 3 years or 2.5 years trying to keep themselves eligible to play ball or do whatever. And they got these loans, right? And not only did they probably lose any money they got during that time and had to get this huge pay, they got to pay that back and got nothing to show for it.
Right, so, right. It's like you're almost there. You already got the loans. Might as well finish out school so you have something to pay it back. Because most places now, like a high school degree, unfortunately, it's sad to say, high school degree is going to cut it. Things people should probably look at, besides going to 4-year schools, look at those trade schools. Those trade jobs are out there. And I'm not a guy that's good with my hands or that would have gone down that path, but I see that the supply and demand, the supply is there, the demand is decreasing. So, I mean, like you said, people are retiring and all that, like those jobs are open and it's always going to be around. Plus, you can ultimately, if you want to, run your own business doing that stuff. If you wanted to do that on the business side, you can still do it. It's just you're starting everything out differently, but you can make good money in trade and doing those skilled trades.
And you know what else is out there too? Like obviously online, the internet, all that stuff, all these opportunities to make money now that you don't need the degree on, whether you're dancing on TikTok or trading crypto, whatever the hell you're doing, there's other options. Don't just automatically sign up, and go to school just for a 4-year degree. Look at other options if you don't want to take out that huge loan. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm glad I went to school. It was good for me. I needed it. So, yeah. So, I mean, my school, I'll vouch for it. Anytime someone asks me, would you go there? Absolutely. I'd ready to go there all over again. No doubt about it. I needed it. It was a great school, great professors and everything. This is not a knock on college. This is just saying supply and demand. It's going to cost you if you want to go. Know what you're getting into.
Know what you're getting into. Try to have a plan. I know it's tough for those undergrads early. They don't know what they're going to do. Take your time making a decision. When you make it, hey, try to think about what you're going to do when you get out, because that money is going to start 6 months after you graduate. You're going to start making these student loan payments. So hopefully by then you have a job lined up where you can start making those payments, because I'm sure it's going to be pricey.
Hey, and they love it when you say defer. You can defer it. You know why?
The interest rate keeps stacking. Interest doesn't stop at all. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Hey, you can do a 6-month deferment or whatever it is. That interest is going to stack up the whole time. Then once you start paying back on it again, it's added back into your to the whole amount, and then you're paying on that. So it's the interest that got added to it. You have a new amount when you start paying it, then all of a sudden interest starts calculating off that new amount. And then that means your interest is higher. I mean, you pay more money. It's going to take you longer to pay it off if you can pay it off.
Yeah. I mean,
it's all cycle.
And the student loans aren't going away. If you're sitting at home right now playing video games, living in the virtual world, not doing jack, thinking student loans are going to get wiped away, you're out of your mind. It's big business, big lobbyists, big money. The Super Bowl is being played in SoFi Stadium. Student loan business isn't going anywhere. And no one's going to look out for you but yourself. You got to make sure you're smart with your money, because that's what we're always talking about.
Nope. Agreed, 100%. And just do what you can. Try to limit those student loans as much as possible. Take it from people that have gone through it. It'll be worth it in the end. But I know it's a different story now just because of the price of school, how much everything's gone up. It's outrageous. So,
but it's not going to be worth it if you don't graduate. So if you take out them loans and you don't finish, it's a miserable.
At least graduate, because like I said, high school diplomas it's not really cutting it anymore as far as getting you those quality jobs in the business world. So like it's like the ground zero is having a degree, a 4-year degree from university, and that's like how you get your foot in the door. So, or how you can try to get your foot in the door. I won't say it gets your foot in the door. It gets you to the interview to try to get your foot in the door. It's having that. If you don't have that, they're going to toss it aside without even looking at your resume. Almost guarantee it.
Yeah. If you have no experience, that's the next best thing is the degree.
Right. So, all right. Do we have anything else on that, Dane?
No. Just don't mess with your money. Rell's always saying, don't mess with your money. And we just did a schooling on interest rates, big money spending, people's gouging you, ain't looking out for you. student loans ain't going nowhere. Use your mind, and to take it from Rell, don't be messing with your money.
Yep. That'll definitely mess with your money. I promise you that. So, all right, what we got? Super Bowl preview, Bengals, Rams. Who day? Dane, what do you got, man?
Hey, big game. I think we're gonna make our picks, but let's talk about it first. Yeah, he's got. Hey, you got to keep wearing that because they keep.
I know.
Winning.
I mean, I'm glad I have two of these shirts because otherwise that'd be horrible. But I was planning on wearing a different hat, but now I gotta go with it because if I wore something different and they lose this week, it's my fault. I'm the reason, so I gotta stick with what's working.
Yes, and we're gonna have to talk about sports superstition at some point. That sounds like a great topic for us, but it's real. So don't even think it's not. If it's in your mind and you think it's real, it's real. So
it's real. That's right. That's right. Whatever it takes. I wasn't really big superstitious, but I am right now. It's working. So I'm not going away from it.
So yeah. So but here's to go to the game, right? LA is the all-star team. Yep. It really has never worked in the NFL before, where you take a bunch of big names, big contracts, older players, put them all together. I mean, the Raiders tried that for, since their beginning of their history, getting big names, trying to win that way. It's just not worked in the NFL, not like it has in the NBA, not like it even has with hockey, like the Red Wings teams in the 90s and 2000s were super teams who were just steamrolling everybody. Right. Look at some of these teams like the Golden State Warriors, the Showtime Lakers, the Celtics all those years. Like, super teams work in those sports, even though not as much in baseball because teams still can get through. But look at what the Dodgers are doing. They did win a World Series 2 years ago. Right. So even to a certain extent, the super team works in baseball. The Rams are the super team, right? They went out and got all these guys. They got Von Miller. They got OBJ. They got Aaron Donald. They got Matthew
Eric Weddle.
Stafford.
They got Eric Weddle out of retirement.
Eric Weddle after 2 years in retirement. I mean, they said he kept in shape playing pickup basketball. He looks like he hasn't even missed a day of practice.
He's doing all right.
Yeah, and then you got, all these guys, and then you got the Cincinnati Bengals, who hardcore football fans probably only know who Burrows is, but I hate the LA Rams. They're everything I hate about the super teams. It's still a quarterback-driven league, right? So, and the quarterback that makes more plays than the other team's quarterback usually wins the game. Now, defensive players and all that stuff, but this is an interesting matchup. And as good as honestly, one of the reasons I haven't just jumped and said the Bengals were going to win is because Aaron Donald is a one-man wrecking crew on that defensive line, and the Bengals' offensive line, though, has been better. They're going to be still that's similar to the Tennessee Titans up on the front line. So,
yeah, I mean, you got to think about it too. I mean, they have Aaron Donald and they have Von Miller from the Broncos, who was number pick. Honestly, I don't know how old he is, but he should still be somewhat in his prime.
He's still a top player, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he shouldn't have lost himself. So, that's to me the trouble for the Bengals and their offensive line is the fact that the Rams are going to be able to put pressure on Burrow and not have to blitz to do it. And plus, they have one of the top cornerbacks in the game in Jalen Ramsey. Not say that Jamar Chase can't handle that, but if Jalen Ramsey's following him all over the field, they're going to rely on T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, which is a good thing to have those players. You might have Uzama, you might not because he got hurt in the last game at tight end. But are the Bengals be able to run the ball? I'm not sure. Are they going to be able to rely on Chase to make big plays? I'm not sure because Jalen Ramsey is top 3 cornerback in the league, in my opinion. It comes to straight man-to-man coverage.
I agree.
He's one of those dudes. Now, granted, the rest of their secondary has been hurt, but then they got Eric Weddle, who's come in and he's found the fountain of youth. Come in 37 years old, but he's still playing well. So they're able to get pressure on Burrow. Don't have to blitz to do it. Have a top cover corner. So it's really, to me, it's going to come down to those other players, Joe Burrow and how he's playing, what he's seeing, and what T. Higgins can do and what Tyler Boyd can do. And ultimately, if the Bengals can run the ball to try to slow down the pass rush.
The Bengals had a little trouble running the ball till late in the game against the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs defense finally wore out when they realized Mahomes had packed it in for the Pro Bowl at halftime. But I think, if you watch the Bengals, I looked at their roster at the start of the year. I was like, okay, there's talent there, but the other 3 teams are probably better and they're going to finish last. And I think everybody picked
Everybody thought the same
them
thing.
to be last. There was a lot of argument over who was going to win the division. Was it going to be the Ravens? Was it going to be the Browns? Was Ben got one more big push in it? No one ever said anything about the Bengals being anything but last place. When
That's
you look
true.
at their players, what I love about them is Jamar Chase is a star. I guess you could see that coming. He had that talent, but to actually do it right away.
Right away, yeah.
Boyd, Higgins, they have receivers with their tight ends. They have receivers with height that can go get the ball. They can go get the ball in a double team. That's why I kept saying about the Browns. Browns got guys that can't beat one-on-one coverage. Bengals got guys that can get up and get the ball in double coverage.
Everywhere.
Mixon is enormous. He's, in my opinion, he's the most underrated back in the league because no one talks about him. Everybody talks about George. Everybody talks about Chubb, and rightfully so. But Mixon is that type of back. He's huge. He's fast. He's physical. He's a game breaker.
If you watch him play in their offensive line, because their offensive line, they get beat on the running game a lot too. It's why you don't see a bunch of Joe Mixon rush for 150 plus yards or 130 plus yards a game, right? They run a zone blocking scheme, and though his style of running, he's a patient runner. He has good vision, and usually makes the first guy or two miss. That's how he gets his yards. Like, he's very hard to tackle. That's why he's usually better in the second half of games. Usually, if they run the ball enough, he usually gets stronger, and the defense is getting tired, and then he can start taking over that point in time. I feel like they don't really do that anymore because Joe Burrow's kind of stepped up throwing the ball in the second half of the game. But to me, I still think that the offense should still go through Joe Mixon. Joe Burrow's shown what he can do, but if you want to be more consistent and less reliant on just a straight passing game, I think they should still be running the ball. That's my opinion. But
I think they're going to be able to run a little bit because what the Rams did to the 49ers is stop them from running. Right. But as good as the 49ers weren't running the ball, as good as the receivers and tight ends they had, that team has Jimmy G, who is awful, right? Don't come at me with his 30-15 record. Like, put Aaron Rodgers on that team. Put Burrows on that team.
Yeah.
Put Russell Wilson on that team that he threw 27 touchdowns.
The rest of their roster is Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's Jimmy. Sure. The only reason the 49ers aren't winning the Super Bowl by a lot is because they have Jimmy G, who grossed you the Cleveland Plain Dealer once for some reason, but whatever. We already talked about the Cleveland Media, but I mean, I just think the Bengals are stacked. I am worried about Aaron Donald up on the line. Nobody's been able to block him yet. He took over the game in the fourth quarter against the 49ers and was all over Jimmy G. But here's the thing. The Rams are not going to be able to come up and just play the run like they did against San Francisco and get on Samuel and stuff like that. They're going to have to respect the pass because I'm telling you right now, Joe Burrow is the reincarnation of Joe Namath. The swag, the look, the game. It's Joe Namath. He might not be the great athlete Joe Namath was, but he is everything else, and he's a winner.
He's not a bad athlete, though. He's not a bad athlete.
He's not a bad athlete. No, and he's a winner. He's a winner.
Yeah.
So Stafford, you know who's not a winner? Stafford, right? I've never been a Stafford fan. He's on a super team. Think about this game last week against 49ers. How many interceptions, easy interceptions, did they drop last week? Like 3.
There's at least 2. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm probably more of a Stafford fan than you are as far as that, because he was in Detroit for years. Him and Calvin Johnson were putting up numbers back in the day.
It is a quarterback league, man. I don't care what team
they had nobody around them. They had nobody.
Man, he had Calvin Johnson, they just put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and he was throwing to him.
He didn't have anybody.
He was getting his brains beat in.
I don't buy that. I don't buy he didn't have anybody. Man. And he got to play the Vikings and the Bears. He did have to go up against Aaron Rodgers. I understand it's Detroit. He's on a super team right now.
Now he's on a super team. Yeah, there's no excuse right now because he has OBJ to get in the ball early. He's looking like the OBJ of old a little bit, trying to come out and show everybody
trying to get paid.
Trying to get paid too. They have Cooper Kupp, leading receiver in the league in all categories. He's swept.
That guy's awesome. He makes you better.
He makes you better, and he's going to be a matchup nightmare. He's going against your nickel cornerback, who's usually like your third best cornerback. He's going against linebacker. He's going against safety. All those matchups favor him because in the slot, he's tall enough to go over people. He's strong enough to go by people. Like, or strong enough to go against those nickel corners, but he's fast enough and quick enough to be guarded by safeties or linebackers. And he's just a matchup nightmare, and they take advantage of that. And he's good at what he does. He's been good. He's been underrated his whole career. Even going into college, he went to Eastern Washington, which is a 1AA school, or I'll say FBS school or whatever. So it wasn't like he was highly recruited out of high school, but he was dominant in Eastern Washington. I knew who he was before he came to the league, but I didn't know if he'd be able to make that transition into the league. And obviously he has, and he's a really good player, and he can be a matchup nightmare for the Bengals as well.
You know what, though? But the Bengals defensive coordinator, what's his name?
I don't even remember his name, to be honest with you. I know he's made some really good calls out there on defense.
The way
in good situations.
The way his defense has performed in the playoffs and what the Bengals defense does, and this is basically what the NFL is now, defense has to make timely stops. You're not going to shut teams out like you used to with players like Patrick Mahomes and today's rules, but making timely stops and making the adjustments to make those stops. I can't believe that dude isn't maybe getting some head coach consideration with all these hirings out there because of the way his defense has played. The way the defense he played against Mahomes, beating him twice this year, was awesome. He played all his weaknesses. He had this delayed blitz, the spy with an athlete like Hubbard who can stay with you. And just he should be getting some love because the defense has been awesome. Everybody's talking about Burrows, but the D's been awesome.
He definitely confused Mahomes in a lot of scrimmage, played a lot of zone, but along with that zone, didn't blitz much at all. And they rushed 3, and they had the spy that was there that would have a delayed blitz after that. And that would force him to all right, so he's confused because he's looking at everything, nothing looks open. Then when he starts trying to make a play, then you have someone coming at him from a random angle that he's not really looking at, and he has to worry about that. They have to try to make quick decisions at that point in time, and he just wasn't making the right choice. He was messing up. So
yeah, and you know what? Like I said, I'll freely admit it. I picked the Raiders to beat the Bengals, and they were one of the hottest teams in the league with an awesome defense, and they are playing well, and the Bengals shut him down, right? It wasn't so much the offense, it was the defense shut that Raiders offense down. Then against, Tennessee, Burrow gets famously sacked now 9 times, and they're getting beat up. The defense lockdown. With all the weapons Tennessee has with King Henry back, they shut them down. Then you play the Chiefs, and this is probably the most impressive thing. What did I text you after the first quarter? This game's over. They're blowing the Bengals out.
It's early.
All of a sudden, the Bengals go into some kind of weird zone defense with a spy, with stunt blitzes, and just confuse the hell out of Mahomes. And just totally shut him down. That's coaching, right? What do we always talk about? It's coaching in the NFL, right?
I also think the Bengals believe in themselves in the second half. They've always been a second half team. They've been a second half team all year.
That's coaching too.
Yeah. I think they believe in themselves. I think they've done well. I think they feel prepared. Like I said, it's coaching. I think they prepared themselves. And they feel they're prepared and ready to go. And it just shows they don't feel like they're ever out of the game. And I think it definitely shows out there in the field. Plus, they have a guy that they believe in Burrow that helps too. They don't have to just rely on their defense. They believe in the guy that's leading them on offense too. So,
hey, I'm not minimizing Burrows at all. I just think some other people deserve some props too, which brings me to my pick. I'll go ahead and go first here.
All right.
I'm gonna go Bengals because, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's real simple. I trust Burrow. I don't trust Stafford. For that reason, I got Bengals in a close one. I think there's going to be more points than we think. I think Bengals win 34-27.
I think for me, I think the Bengals need to make sure that they don't let the Rams get out to an early lead. As far as more than 2 touchdowns. They need to keep it within 2 touchdowns. I'm not saying they have to be in the lead, but if they keep within 2 touchdowns again at halftime, I think they'll be all right. I do think it's going to be a higher scoring game. I'm probably saying 33-24.
You going Bengals too?
I'm going Bengals. I can't go against the Bengals. Yeah, I'm going Bengals. You already know.
Yeah. So it's going to be a good game. I think. I just think this is the Bengals window, right? Burrows is on a rookie contract. The team's stacked. I think I don't know who all they lost, but they got a lot of people, I think, under contract. And
most of the money's on defense. So they brought in like Von Bell and Reeder, who's actually out for the year, who came from the Browns. He was doing really well playing D tackle, until he got that foot injury where he's out for the year. But their draft picks have been well. But you're right, this is their window. I think they have like a 2 to 3 year window before they're going to have to sign Burrow. They're going to sign the linebacker that drafted the same draft as Burrow last year.
And look at your D line. You got Ogunjobi from the Browns, right?
Yeah.
He's been making plays. I liked him in Cleveland. We signed Billings. We signed Billings from Cincinnati, and he was so bad they cut him because he was fat and out of shape. Yep. So I mean, you guys got the better of that swap. And then, it just feels like their time. Like it feels like their window is right now. And the Rams with the way they sell out every year has to be their year because the amount of money they've spent and mortgaging their entire future. The NFL won't even let them trade their picks anymore, I think, because they've traded so far down that if you ever fired McVay, who's going to want that job other than living in LA because you don't have picks for the next 10 years?
That's true. That's tough.
Yeah.
So they're committed to now winning the Super Bowl right now.
Every year.
I'm like you said, Stafford he's kind of a gunslinger. I'm thinking I can count on him to throw 1 or 2 picks. I don't think the Rams running games are anything crazy or special. Now they have Cam Akers back, who is a better receiver out the backfield. But I think the Bengals. I really do think the Bengals can do it the way they're playing. They're talking about playing unselfishly. I think that they are a team. I think that they don't have a lot of me. They have Joe Burrow, who's that dude and everything. They got a lot of swagger and everything. They got they have that moxie and everything. But overall, I like Burrow. I like what he's done. City of Cincinnati's embraced him, and I'm ready to see what they can do on Sunday.
Yeah, it pains me to make this pick, but like I said, I just it's real simple for me. I trust Burrow. I don't trust Stafford, and that's going to be the difference.
Gotcha. All right, well, there we go. Who Dey fans, Dane's on board picking the Bengals. I think the Bengals as well. We'll see what's good, and hopefully when we have this podcast, when we record next week, we'll be celebrating the Bengals' first ever Super Bowl. So I'm hyped. I'm excited about it, and we're looking to see what's good. So, Dane, what do you got for the quick NBA update?
All right, we got a quick NBA update because the land is relevant again, and the trade deadline's coming up. They just made a trade, got rid of Ricky Rubio, who was playing awesome. I feel terrible for him. He was having his best year ever, tore his ACL.
Yep.
They were Indiana's a mess. The Pacers, they're able to make a deal for Karis LeVert, right? He's 6'6", 205, 27 years old, average at 18.7, 3.8 rebounds, 4.4 assists. He's going to fit in and fill in some of that wing help we need at guard and all that stuff. Huge pickup. Hometown guy from Columbus, Ohio. Rumor is he's excited to be there. And here's what I want to say here. The Cavs are 1 game out of first place, right? So for all our Northeast Ohio here who've been still crying about the Browns and the disaster this was, the land is back playing basketball. They're 1 game out of first. We got Miami, Chicago, Milwaukee, 76ers all in the mix right there.
They're young.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of rumors out there, trades right now, although I heard it's dead on all the shows we watch, but looks like Ben Simmons is going to be staying and not playing, and Harden's not going to be going to Philly. So look out for that blockbuster trade. That's the one people are looking at, is Harden for Simmons. The Nets are a mess. They've lost 8 in a row. The big three have only played 17 games together. It's a disaster. This is the Cavs window. Embiid has no help. Chicago's best player is, the guy from Toronto all the years.
DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah. DeMar DeRozan. If he's your best player, you're not going to win a title.
Well, him and
Miami
Heat. Zach LaVine's up and coming in Chicago there.
Yeah, but I'm not sold. They're small, which doesn't win unless you shoot like Curry. Right. Miami Heat, not sold on the Heat. Jimmy Buckets, not a top end player. But here's this: the Cavs remind me of the 2004 Pistons, right? The total team, no superstars, real quick. got to go through some numbers. And just so you know, Levert in his last game as a Pacer scored 42 points. So he's coming in hot. All right. So Jared Allen, 16.2 points, 11.1 rebounds. They snubbed him in the All-Star game, right? So what did he do? He went out and got 20-20 against the Hornets the other night, won that game.
Yep.
Erland going to the All-Star game. 19.8 points, 8.2, well-deserved. He's going to be the hometown representative in the land here February 21st or whenever the All-Star game is. Kevin Love, resurgent, my favorite player. 14.6 points, 7.5 off the bench, dishing biscuits. Laurie Markin, 13.6, 5.3. Evan Mobley, your rookie of the year. By the way, Love's going to be your sixth man of the year. Evan Mobley, 14.9, 8.1. Shoo-in for rookie of the year, the 7-foot unicorn. Not that guy down in Dallas. The unicorn is Mobley. It's changed. You got Okoro with 9, Jetty coming off the bench with 10.9. And I'm looking forward to some playoff Rondo. The land is back. Give him the trophy. The Larry O'Brien's coming back to Cleveland. You heard it here first. I ain't buying the hype, all this other stuff. The Lakers are done. That's it. That's what I got. Trade deadline. Cavs are the winners. Playoffs go through Cleveland.
I'm not going to discount it.
East goes through Cleveland.
I'm not going to discount it. There are a lot of injuries that happen. There's a lot of underachieving teams out there. I'm not gonna discount it. Cleveland's playing well. They're doing better than everybody thought. Dane's back on the Kevin Love bandwagon, so he's hyped. I'm hyped. Let's see. We'll see what's good. Hopefully I'll get a chance to go see the Cavs play a game sometime this year.
Yeah, so they play in the Garden in April on a Saturday. I plan on going to that one. I plan on being in Philly for the game against the Sixers. Courtside seats about 3,300, so I won't be sitting courtside, but I'll be sitting a little bit. Yeah, 3,300 on this courtside seats, 3,300 on Ticketmaster for 76ers Cavs. So I'll be sitting a little bit behind that. I ain't dishing that out, but I'll be at those games, man. I'm going to try to get to the land for a home game again. So excited to say the least.
Gotcha. All right, no, that's good, man. Excited for it. Ready to see what's good. Let's go and get in there rapid fire so we try to wrap this up here soon.
All right, rapid fire. You know what we like to do?
Yes, sir.
To go off the main topic. We're going to do some rapid fire student loan edition. All right.
All right. Let's see what's good.
All right. Would you pay $12.40 for the textbooks or pay $12.40 just for someone to do the work for you?
I'll probably go ahead and pay $12.40 for the textbooks. Just saying. Got to learn stuff myself so I can get that return on investment. I'm the one doing the work. Got to learn it. Got to figure it out. Got to figure out how I'm going to pay it back. I got to learn it on my own. That's what it is.
Yeah. I guess you got to do it right. There's got to be some integrity left in this world, right? All right.
That's right. That's our podcast. Integrity is the first thing.
Integrity. Get your money with some integrity. All right. You going to pay the extra to live by yourself, or you going to get a roommate?
I'll probably have a roommate, to be honest with you. I'm not going to pay extra to live by myself, especially if they're a cool roommate. They're a cool roommate. It's all good. Now, if the roommate where there's a lot of drama and everything, then you probably think, man, I wish I would paid the extra to live by myself. But overall, I'll probably pay for the roommate. We can split the cost of the room and board. They actually won't split the cost of the room and board, but I probably still have a roommate.
Man, I like having a set. Hey, my school had a great setup. Like, we'd have 3 people do a big room where there was 3 rooms in the room, right? Okay. So, you get kind of spoiled at Wesleyan. Or you could do what the other defensive end on my team did, just throw your roommate out right at the start of the year so you have a single every year. But we won't get into that. But yeah, I want my own room. All right. Did you actually believe there would be student loan forgiveness?
No, I figured it was just a talking point. Didn't think it would really happen. Still really hasn't truly happened. I mean, like I said earlier, they've given something out there for like people who work in public service and everything, but as far as everybody getting it, I don't think everybody's going to get it. I don't think it's going to happen.
Hell no. Because just think about it. If there's no student loans, then there's not enough people to pay for universities, and then there's no universities, and we just become an uneducated mess. So the fact that people think student loans are going to be gone, just out of their mind.
Well, and also it's not like we're considered the smartest country in the world. Like many other countries' education system is way better than ours, and it's proven over and over again. So whatever. We'll figure something out, I'm sure.
We'll figure it out. Right?
Hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened. Yep. All right. If you could go to school over again right now and you knew you had to pay that money, what would you major in now?
I would still major in business. Like I said, I went to a liberal arts school, so like everything was more, it wasn't focused or concentrated. So you got like a little bit of everything across the board, right? So I'll still major in business, but I probably like have a little bit of some kind of focus, or like whether it's finance or, you know, cryptocurrency, NFTs, or maybe marketing, because marketing is not going away as far as doing that. But I'll make sure that there is some kind of a little bit more of a focus for me, because I went to a liberal arts school as far as doing that. And I'll definitely make sure that I had like internships, like starting my sophomore year, going out there and getting the experience there. Because I think that it's all about who you know, making those relationships work. And if you're in the internship program at a particular company, they'll take care of you when you get out of school.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, like Wesleyan did actually add a business school now, even though it's a liberal arts school, they added that, you know, a non-traditional liberal arts thing, because obviously schools are competing now and it's for students out there, you know, and all that stuff. So I'm definitely going to major in something in the virtual world, out of reality, because that's where we're going. We're going to be living in Tron. We're going to be Terminators, where they're putting in fake hearts and all that stuff. And we're going to be living in a fantasy world, in our own little world. I heard you can buy property next to Snoop Dogg in the virtual world right now for $24,000. You can butt up against Snoop Dogg's property.
There you
go. Yeah. So, and you know what? I would major in HR in the virtual reality world, because we just had some articles come out of the first harassment charges in the virtual world. So now in the virtual world, they won't let you get closer than 4 feet in the virtual world, so you can't harass anybody. So I would be HR in the virtual world. Booming business. I guarantee it now. Sign me up.
Never going away. That's true. Never going away.
Yeah. All right. You going to pay for the food plan, or are you going with your own food? And knowing how terrible service is these days.
Paying for the food plan. Still paying for it. Back then, I'm a broke, poor college kid that probably could cook well enough, but you know what? I'll let someone else do it. Let me go order some food. If anything, I can go to the grill. I can get burger. I can get a chicken sandwich. I can get a salad. I can get pizza. It doesn't matter. I'll use the meal plan and get it from there. I'm good.
Heck yeah, man. I'm getting the meal plan and then I'll be rolling back to school in my 85 Cutlass packed with Milwaukee's best, as much as I could fit in there from Tremonti Distributing, the good old days. I'm getting the food plan myself because I was broke. All right. Job or no job? What are you doing? You going to work?
I'm going to have some kind of job. Even if it's just
assuming we didn't play ball. Let me preface this. So you're just a student, not playing
as a student. Yeah, I'll probably get some kind of on-campus job at least, just so I can at least have some hanging out money. I'm not trying to live and be extra broke. I'm not trying to straight up rely on my parents anymore than I've already done or whatever. So I want to be able to hang out and do what I want, whatever I want, have a little extra cash on me. Yeah, I'm going to get a job somewhere. So back in the day, my job, I was a busboy at a sorority house. Worked out, got free food, made good money. Plus
I'm not surprised.
So it was good. Smart move. Me and Dawson.
So I actually worked for a beer distributor in the summer, and on break, loading the beer trucks right up my alley back then.
No, go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So I just think you don't get the full college experience. I mean, if you're working, you can't go out for natty lights on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And all the regular stuff we like to do. There's no NFL blitz. There's no ripping water fountains out of the wall and playing Mario Kart.
That's why I had a daytime job where I didn't have to worry about that. So I had to be there.
You got to go to school sometime, right?
Well, you had class. I had to be there around noontime-ish and then 5 or 6-ish. And that was good. It was just Monday through Friday. So it was easy. But during the summers, I worked at Taco Bell. That's how I was getting some extra cash there. Doing that, I worked for the city of West Carrollton, steam cleaning the grease and oil from underneath the buses. So that's what I did there for that. And then what else did I do? And also we got back from spring break. All of us used to sell mint juleps at the Kentucky Derby. So that was a quick $1,000 to $1,500 we had. We take half of it, had that 1 month of spring term. So we blow that on hanging out and partying for spring term. The other half, save for the summer. That's how we did it.
So to answer the question for me real briefly, hell no, I'm not working. I'm kicking it, man. I got to get my money in the summer. All right. So yeah, I want the full experience for college, right? All right. That pretty much is it. That wraps up the rapid fire student loan school edition.
There we go. Whether it's good or bad is what we do. So here we go on that. So now we got Get Real with Dane. Dane, we're getting real. Who's getting real on?
I'm getting real on myself this time. Dane, get real. Darius Garland's the truth. How did you not know he was going to be a star? How did you not know he was going to be an all-star? What'd you say? He was too small and couldn't shoot? You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Stick to football. Stay out of basketball. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're like the Grossi and Browns media of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Stick to just enjoying the game. Don't be talking stuff about people. Darius Garland, all-star. Cavs, 1 game out of first. Cavs winning the title this year. Cavs doing it all. And you didn't believe. You didn't believe in Altman. You wanted to fire him. You were ripping Dan Gilbert. You were ripping that all-star Kevin Love. You're ready to get rid of everybody. You had enough. And you didn't see the
Rondo. You ripped Rondo.
I ripped Rondo. And he still deserves it. Now, in my defense, I did say that the Cavs were too small last year, right? I kept saying they're too small. They can't get stops at the end of the game. So they did fix that. Now they're the biggest team in the league, and that's what I wanted, and that's what I'm going to win. But where I was wrong is I didn't realize Altman was going to realize this and make this happen. And I didn't realize Darius Garland. So, Dane, get real.
Dane, tell himself to get real. I like it. Sometimes you got to check yourself. It is what it is there. For sure. So, all right, finish things up. Messing with your money with Rell. Today, we have Pro Bowl running back from the New Orleans Saints, Alvin Kamara. He was in the Pro Bowl this past weekend. Football game, he played in it. After the game, went out to a Las Vegas. Well, first of all, they're in Vegas. Went to a Las Vegas club. Apparently got into an altercation where he allegedly, I guess, beat someone up. Don't know the details of it. Either way, he put himself in a bad situation where, like Dane and I were talking about earlier, he's at least going to have to pay lawyer fees. With other fees, he's probably going to be arrested. He already got arrested.
Yeah.
Has a bad PR. Might lose endorsements depending on what's going on, what's happening. He had never had any kind of blemishes on his record before. He was good in the community, had a good name behind him as far as everything. This just is not a good look for him and or his brand or himself. Hopefully he doesn't lose too much. I don't know what the situation was. He could have been baited into it. Could have been someone being drunk. Either way, he should know that he should be not put himself in that situation, not let his emotions get to him. Like I said, I don't know if it was self-defense or what. Hopefully that's what comes out because we don't know the full story. Either way, if you're in Vegas on a Pro Bowl weekend, it's high sensitivity. The stars are out. The spotlight's on you. You can't do anything crazy or stupid like this. You got to put yourself in a better situation. Ultimately, he's messing with his money, especially if he's found guilty. Things have to deal with the league, be fined by the league, probably be suspended by the league or whatever. Then he'll definitely lose endorsements, and then just it's tarnishing his name. So hopefully we find out what happened and it was a self-defense type thing. But, initially, you think, man, messing with his money could have put himself in a better situation. But that's what happens when you have a lot of athletes and a lot of craziness going on in Vegas.
Yeah, and that's one of the fears of putting those all-star games in Vegas, right?
Yep.
So, that's what happens.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. So, all right, now that's what it is. So we have the Messin With Your Money. Like I said, hopefully Alvin Kamara can figure it out, and hopefully he's something can clear his name, but you never know until the whole story comes out. So we'll see what's good. But we are back. We're glad we were back. Hit us up on our social media. Find us on Facebook at Always Relevant. The Rells in quotes. So ALWIS in quotes, RELL, and then EVENT. You can find me on Twitter at Franks1122. Find Dane on Twitter at DeMayo. We are on Instagram now at Always Relevant all together. I'm trying to think what else. We'll have different shorts coming out this week of our different segments starting on tomorrow. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else is going on. Look for us on Wednesdays. That's where Get Real with Dane segments are coming out every Wednesday at noon. So we'll have those coming out, the videos coming out for that. So that should be pretty good there. And yeah, I don't know. That's all I got. Who Day? Dane, got anything for us? Take us
Real
out.
quick, Metro won the NHL All-Star game. Werenski mic'd up, represented the Blue Jackets. So I got my hat on today. Congratulations to him. Blue Jackets, rough season. This is probably the last time I wear the hat this year. We're going Cavs after this. But congratulations, Metro win the All-Star game. That's all I got. I'm out, man.
Hey, I hope I get to wear this hat one more time. Bengals in the Super Bowl. Who Day? Dane's out. I'm out. Until next time. Hopefully we're celebrating next week. Here we go. We'll see you then. Later.